What's up, guys? Showtime Shred Fitness over here. Size, growth, get big. Alright. So, I got a cattle thing that says bulking on it. And, my wife got it for me on the internet. So, wearing this is kind of funny because it's got a big cattle on it and freaking, like a lot of bodybuilders like take what's called Trenbolone, right? From Affiniject or Trenhex or Trenace, right? So you get these different versions of Trenbolone, right? Get some athletes shredded to the bone, but it's actually for cattle, cows, different types of animals. It's not for human use. But hey, a lot of bodybuilders, they say if it works for animals over here, right, it's gonna work for people too, probably, right? So that's the attitude with a lot of bodybuilders, even powerlifters and so on and so forth, where they feel like the end justifies the means. No comment over here. So it is what it is, and certain things you can get a prescription for, and you can go get a fucking little cattle or a cow or a fucking cat, dog, fucking horse, whatever, right? And just go get a prescription for your horse or your cattle for Trenbolone, right? Just don't give it to them. And you're within the realms of the law. So I'm aware, it's feeding my horse over here, my freaking cattle. And I don't know what happened. God, it give some to him too, right? So it bulked up, see? So yeah, but I suggest you stay away from the Trenbolone if you're competing. It's risk to benefit ratio, at your own risk, because it does have some negative side effects to it. Some people need it, some people don't. Who knows? A lot of it's mental anyways, right? But there is some science to the Trenbolone making athletes hotter, drier, veinier, grainier, the whole 9 yards, right? So, because this comes from multiple sources, multiple documentations, multiple research, multiple reports, interviews, YouTube videos from various bodybuilding champions, and even some might not be champions, right? But most of them who get on here are very, very knowledgeable. 99% of the time, they're doctors or they're champion athletes at some level, state level, national level, pro level, whatever have you. But you're gonna have some ding-dongs, and they may or may not know what they're talking about. So make sure you verify the source, right? Make sure you go through various sources before forming your own opinion and looking at the risk to benefit ratio and seeing that all these benefits for whether it be strength or size or hardness or grainy, veiny, freak look, all that things, those types of things, positives way up here, right, with Trenbolone, okay? So let's take a look at the negatives. Also way up here, right? Why is that? Because if you're getting 1 to 3 gallons of water in a day, the high-protein diet combined with the Trenbolone, which is the worst thing on the kidneys, in my opinion, out of all the PEDs, it's hard on the kidneys. So you got the kidneys working overtime, right? So hard on the kidneys, okay? They're not oral, so they're not that damaging to your liver, right? So most damage is going to be in the kidneys, but more so than any other PED on the market, in my opinion, from what I've researched and this and that and the other thing. Fifth Amendment to anything else as far as personal use, because I'm on HRT, TRT, I have full legal right to do that and stuff, and so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm on HRT, TRT, so Fifth Amendment, right to remain silent. I'm not going to comment one or the other if I've ever done Trenbolone before or not, if I'm, plan on taking in the future or not, if I've got a prescription for it or not. I'm just leaving that out. Fifth Amendment, okay? So we're going to go more off of other athletes. But what I can tell you is from all the conclusive evidence that I have through my resources, research experience, etc., 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 positives way up here, negatives also way up here. I agree with that. And as far as wanting to kill your family and things like that, it's been verified through several sources that, it's very normal for a lot of athletes to feel like they want to kill people when they're on tren, more so than almost anything else on the market. So keep that in mind, and everything is still not 100%, proven. So you do your own research, your own conclusions, your own opinions, your own advices, and go from there. Do I recommend it? No. Is there a time appropriate for it? Maybe in bodybuilding, not so much in the other sports so much, just because it could dry you out. So I don't, that explosiveness, maybe powerlifting, bodybuilding type sports, other type of explosive sports, endurance type sports, I would highly recommend you stay away from that one because of the cardiovascular side effects. Tren cough, shortness of breath very quickly, you get tired very, very quickly, night sweats, hard to sleep for some people. So these types of things are all, in my opinion, a good reason to stay away from tren unless you really feel like the benefits are worth it, including you could be hospitalized and die and things like that as possible side effects from tren. Decadic, worse than decadic in some cases with some people, to where people would get very suicidal because they have a hard time, according to some athletes, with ED and PD and all that stuff. So you got to watch those types of things. Some people report very high sex drive for a while, and then when they're off of it, no go, okay? No sex drive at all. And sometimes even once getting back on it, not feeling the same sex drive as before. Sometimes even with PCT and Cialis advice, Viagra's and things like that, sometimes it helps get it back. And some claim, there's even some research out there that testimonials that say they were not able to perform again. Well, even after PCT and sexual enhancers and things like that, still we're not able to get back up there, right? Literally, right? So it puts a big, it's kind of between a rock and a hard place. So it's one of those things where, you gotta research all the positives and negatives, and some people couldn't even shake their depression. So you gotta worry about those types of things before, I would say worry, but research, evaluate, and for some people it's gonna be a no-brainer. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna take it, not gonna take it. But if you're one of these guys, yeah, I'm gonna take it, still research all of the positives and negatives. I'm sure you've already reached the positives. You're like, yeah, I want to do it. But research, especially the negatives, as well as the positives. And you're a big boy or girl over 18 years of age, it's your boy, your choice. You have at it. And just what I suggest is make sure that they're conducive to your goals. Research the laws of the land and try to do it legally if at all possible. And that's all I can tell you. All right, it's been Showtime with Showtime Shred Fitness over here with Trenbolone. Size, growth, get big is what I'm talking about over here.